Elizabeth Fine Art. I have another animal painting tutorial for you today. We will be painting this Piggy painting. That's an 8x10, and this is for beginner level artists, something super fun, super easy. Doesn't require a whole lot of paint, and it should take a little less than 30 minutes to complete. As always, I also love to share some of the updates and the things I've been working on during the week. And in the past 2 weeks, I have been working on sketches for 2 murals that I'll be working on in the next 2 months. And one's a bit smaller than the other one, but the second one I have the honor of collaborating with another muralist on. So I am just so excited about that. So new to me. I've never ever done that. I've always just made murals on my own. And I've finished one of my most favorite paintings. This is called Breaking Strongholds. The first time I ever used gold leaf on a painting, and I was really nervous, but I really like how it turned out. And I liked it so much that I decided to make this a limited edition. So I'll be making only a handful of canvas prints of this painting, and that'll be in the description box below on my website. And then Dexter, this adorable little regal fiery kitty, is another one I completed. This is something that I just had so much fun with. I was kind of trying to emulate the wolf painting and our scars painting of the tiger or the lion that I made, just adding random bits of color, oranges and blues and grays into the fur. It's just so much fun for me to explore color, and orange was something very unique for me. I also only have 8 more days until my big solo show. Oh, my cat is trying to be a part of the video. Get off! Until my solo show coming up on March 1st from 5 to 8 p.m. And there will be an open bar, there will be hors d'oeuvres, there will be music, and an accumulation of artwork that I've been working on for the past 1.5 years of pets and wildlife. And this is something that I really worked hard on. I'm still finishing up some details. The next 8 days, I'll just be finishing up little details here and there. And then lastly, save the best for last, I am on my 3rd trimester. I have the belly to show for it. This is my first child, and I'm due on May 1st, my birthday. So it's just so surreal, so amazing that this is all happening this year, and I'm feeling very bloated. I feel very energetic though. I feel good, not sleeping a whole lot because I'm just so swollen around my midsection, and so I feel I'm constantly moving, trying to find a comfortable position, and then it's causing a little bit of pain in my back. But honestly, it's just been a breeze. It hasn't been that bad at all. Without further ado, guys, why don't we get started on our painting? All the materials and supplies you'll need are in the description box below, and feel free to pause and start in case I go too fast or you need to redo something. All right, everyone, I am going to start out by sketching the main sketch of the pig with my raw sienna. Now this is a light colored pig, and there's going to be ice cream on its nose, and so I don't want something super dark. So you don't have to use raw sienna to do a sketch. You can use any light color you'd want. I would just not recommend anything too dark. And so to start, we're going to start with our skinny brush, our detail brush, because we're going to be just making fine lines. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to dampen my detail brush. And I'm just going to go ahead. If you feel more comfortable using a pencil, by all means use a graphite pencil. That's totally fine. I generally sketch with my paint, but that's just up to you. So starting off, this is on a horizontal view, and I'm just going to go ahead and make a rough sketch with my raw sienna. Just starting with the head. You just need a little bit of paint. You don't need too much. And then I'm going to make the ears. These are kind of wide ears. I'm just going to make a rough shapes right now. I'm not making anything perfect because I can end up fixing it up later. I want to exaggerate the size of the ears because I just think it's so cute when pigs have these big floppy ears. And I also want to exaggerate how plump this guy is. I want him to be nice and plump because that's what makes pigs so darn cute. So I just did the belly, I just did the ears. I'm going to sort of guesstimate where I want this nose. And pigs don't have circular, like their nose isn't a straight circle. It's a bit rounder up here and then a little pointier up there at the top. But I'm going to put it right there. And then so that's where the snout is. Now I'm going to make those nostrils symmetrical as symmetrical as I can on both sides. And now I'm going to make his wide snout, which is much bigger than the tiny little nose that we just did. Now I'm going to do the side, just a side line because I want his little paw, his little hoof. Do pigs have hoofs? I think they do. To stand out. He's kind of digging into that ice cream. So I'm going to just make that little hoof right there. And now I'm going to make this cone, because he's getting in from the side. I'm going to make this cone just on its side, just like that. Ice cream cone. And this ice cream we're going to make that a little bit more defined with paint later. But I'm going to have just a smidge, little bit left over. Normally it's that round scoop of ice cream on top of the cone, but I'm going to make just a little bit down by his mouth. And then I'm going to have these lines on top, just smothered all over his cute little snout. We can make this wider and extend it over. So I'm just going to do that one part right up top there because I know I want to make it a little more messy. Okay, so now so that was his back. This is actually where his head is. This line. And I'm going to take this line, bring it in on both sides. Just like that. I gave him a little bit of a cheek. There's just a tiny little round bit. That's his cheek. Now I'm going to the bridge of his nose, just to give him a little bit more definition, and also just where we want to place our eyes. I'm going to put that there. And the eyes are more closer to the side of his head, so I'm going to just put these little Pac-Man looking things because I'm going to make his eyes right there. Just like that. You start to see it a little bit better now? Adding those eyes kind of help us to make the sketch a little bit better. So right now I'm going to define those ears a bit more. So they have these really thick, fleshy ears. And so I'm just giving it the bridge of the ear right there. And then I'm going to make that ear come up. And I'm going to do the same thing. His ear is turned this direction, so I'm just going to have the bridge of his ear go like that. I'm going to make this hoof a little bit more round, so I'm going to put that little circle right there. And kind of give myself more of an outline to follow. So go around and fix any of the sketches if you want to make them more defined with paint so you can kind of really see where things are. Go for it. You can work on that right now. But as far as it goes now, I think I'm ready to paint the background. Now for the background, you can choose whatever background color you would like. If you want a pink background, by all means go for pink. Purple. I always love to add blue to most things that I do, but especially to like a brownish and a pink. So I'm just going to add sky blue, and I'm also going to add some white. And I want to show you guys, I'm going to try my best to show you how and to what extent I'm mixing the colors, which, you know, how much of one color am I mixing it with. So I'm going to take my palette knife still has paint on it. I don't want to use that one. So I was working on Dexter and I still have orange all over it. Okay. So if you choose to use a sky blue like I do for your background, I'm going to take about that much paint. I'm going to put it over here, and I'm going to add a little bit more white. So if you can see that, I'm going to mix that together, and I want to get a pretty light blue. And just a little tip, anything that you mix on a white like plate or a palette, paint palette, it's always lighter on your palette than it's going to be on the canvas. So I generally like to make things much lighter on my paint palette than I do anywhere else, because it just turns out much lighter there than on the painting. Okay, so I mixed together, I just added some more white to the color that I originally mixed. So now I'm going to take that, and I want to make sure I have enough because I want to cover the sides. I'm going to put that in my water, and I'm going to get my fat brush. I'm going to dampen that fat brush. And like we usually do, we're just going to cover all around our animal. Oh, I love that blue. That's exactly what I was wanting. Not too dark, not too light. And I want to prop it up as close to the edge as I can because I want to get under here. Oh, this Piggy's going to be so cute. I just love it. I love ice cream. I love pigs. It's going to be fun. I don't think I made enough paint. Well, if you ever find yourself where the paint starts to pull at your brush and it kind of gets too thick, add some water. That'll also make your paint last a little bit longer too. And something I'm noticing is I'm getting a little bit of brown in my blue. I don't really want that. So if you can wait a little bit for your Piggy to dry, I'm going to kind of go as close to the line as I can without grabbing that brown, because I really don't want to go back later and have to try and match this color again. But if push comes to shove, I don't mind doing that. I just want to prevent you guys from having to do that. I also want to get underneath this pig. I'm going to let that dry a little bit because that brown's still a little wet. But you want to get all around, and you also want to get right underneath the ice cream. There's just a little bit of space. If you didn't leave much space, then don't worry about it, but I did. I'm going to get as close. I'm not leaving any white for the background. I am covering this guy as best I can without getting the brown in there. Dampen my brush a little bit again. Some of these hairs are coming out. If you end up getting on the pig, that's okay. I always say it's better that you get closer to the line than it is to leave a little outline around it. You don't really want to do that. You want to almost go over the line as opposed to not enough. I'm going to let that dry a little bit because it's still wet, and then I'm going to go over that part, and then we can move on to the Piggy. Alright friends, so I just finished the background. I fixed up this little part, and then I did the sides, and so now I'm all ready to go for the pig. And so to start, we're going to use 3 colors. We're going to use Raw Sienna with light portrait pink and white. Okay, and so I'm going to just put a dollop of these colors on my paint palette. And I'm going to show you how much I mix together. I'm going to grab my palette knife. Now you don't have to use a palette knife, but I really, really highly recommend you do, because it really helps to take care of your brushes, but also to really mix properly with a palette knife. And I'm sure you'll probably take care of it better than I do. Mine's seen better days. So I'm just going to grab some pink. I'm going to put it in a little corner. I'm going to grab about half the raw sienna. I don't want to have too much raw sienna, just a little bit. And then I'm going to add some white. Okay, so I want to create this tan, this pinkish tan, and that's too much white, okay, because I really want to start with the dark tones first, like I always do. I'm going to try that again, so I'll probably end up using that, but I'm going to try it again. I'm going to do some pink, some raw sienna. I'm going to add all my pink, and then just a tad bit of white, just real small amount of white. I'm even going to add some more pink. Going to add some more. Okay, and so that's going to be our dark color. We are going to add some grays later, but we're going to start with this main color first. Okay, so I'm going to grab my medium flat brush. a medium flat brush isn't rounded. It's just as it sounds. It's flat on the top, and it's definitely much smaller than our big fat brush that we use for the background. So dampen that one, and we're going to work on the dark tones of this pig. So where my darkest colors are includes the side on the left side. The light's coming from this direction, so we're just going to have paint in this side of the pig. And sometimes, and I really think that I'm going to end up going darker than this, sometimes I'll start with what I think is the darkest tone, but it turns out to not be. It turns out to be one of the medium tones, and that's kind of what's happening here. This is dark, but not as dark as I want it. But that's okay. I can actually go over with my dark tones a little bit later. But I want to cover up the brown outline that we did. We don't really want to see a whole lot of outline left over. And then I want to put some here on the top of the ear, going over that brown, leaving some shine through, because this is an abstract pig. This isn't entirely realistic. Same on the other ear. I'm going to put some of this not inside the ear, but on the side, because like I said, I think we're going to have, I know we're going to have to go in with our darker tones inside that ear a little bit later. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm just going to put that color right along the ear. I'm leaving that white only because I still want to be able to, I'm going to put darker colors in that. All right, so on the cheek and going up around the eye, I'm going to leave that white because I'm going to have lighter colors come in. The light's hitting the side. This part right here, I'm going to leave that white. All right, I also want to paint this little snout this color. Such a cute little piggy. I'm excited. And where else do I want to put this? I think I want to put it right here on the bottom part of his belly. I'm going to put on the bottom side of his leg, leaving that part white. I'm going to raise this up a little bit more. And I think that I want to, the last place I want to put it is right on the side of his eye. Right there. Okay, so let's move on to our darker color so that we can fill in the parts that we should have started with, but that's okay. We can always do that next. Okay, so I want to add my darker tone, and I want to use dark gray. And so in order to make a dark gray, I'm literally going to use the color that we just used. So I'm going to take my palette knife, I'm just going to scoop it up in one corner, add the tiniest bit of black. I don't know exactly how much black I'll need, but just a tiny dab. And now I want to take some more raw sienna. It's kind of hard to hold this up, but hopefully you guys can see this. And I want to add some more pink. And I think we might be onto something, but let's test it. Just gonna see if that's the right one. Sometimes my palette knife is... Yeah, I think that's the color I want. So basically I added pink, a little bit more raw sienna, a tiny dab, mixed in with the color that we just made. I'll even add some more of that color in there. And that is our darkest tone that we're gonna use for the next steps. Using our medium brush, our medium flat brush, I'm gonna dampen it, just cleaning it off a little bit. Okay, I'm going to place this color in the areas that I will show you. So first of all, I'm going to place it right in the shadow of the ear. I kind of want to add a bit of texture and lines to this pig's ear. So what I'm going to do is just do 2 little lines over top the pink that we just made, that like tannish color that we just made. And I also want to put some of this over top the head and the ears. Okay, so I'm going to cover the head and the top of the ear on this side. And then I'm also going to fill in that ear just like I did on the other side. And I'm liking the brown that's shining through, but I'm still covering up most of it, but feel free to leave some brown. Okay, so now I want to take this brown, I want to put it inside. I know we just painted that, but I really want to go on a little bit darker, so I'm going to paint over that again with this color. Up until there, and I'll leave a little bit of the pink there. It's kind of mixing together and that kind of looks cool. I like it. Okay, moving on to the side of the mouth. I'm probably going to cover that with some ice cream later, but I want to have some of it with this gray. And definitely where the sun's not really hitting is right back here. I kind of want to extend that all around. Yay, it's still looking so cute. So cute. I am going to cover that little foot with a little bit of this gray in the corner. Anywhere else do I want it? Feel like I do. Okay, let's just do the side of this back. I didn't really want to do that because I kind of lose it from the head, but we'll get that later. So I'm only doing the left side. Okay, so cover any areas that you think might need a second coat. Okay, I'm happy. All right, we'll move on to a little bit lighter colors. Okay, so I kind of want to make a pretty decent pinkish color. We did a lot of tan pinks. But I think my next one is going to be a bit pinker. So I'm taking with my flat brush, actually, what am I doing? With my palette knife, I'm taking a very small amount of red, a really big chunk of the white, and I'm going to actually add some pink to it. My dogs hear someone. It's kind of hard holding this. It's too pink for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some raw sienna. Okay. And then a little bit of white, a little bit more white. Okay, yeah, that's a good color. All right, so now I have my pinkish color, and I added a little bit of red, I added raw sienna, I added some of our pink, and then some white. Okay. I'm going to paint the side of this pig's face with this pink. I'm going to add the top, cover the top of his head. I'm making like an abstract piggy. I really want this a variety of colors. I want to add this pink to the side of the body, basically where we have white left. Making sure to cover most of the brown. I'm not going to cover this side of the pig, okay? So don't listen to me. I'm not going to cover that side of the pig. I'm going to leave that for another color. I'm going to paint the top back of the pig this color. I'm going to add some of this pink to the side. I'm just layering colors right now, guys. I'm not trying to cover up any mistakes or whatever. This is just layering colors. I'm going to add some of that pink to the bridge of the ears. Okay, moving on. Oh, I lied. I knew I was going to forget about this. Okay, so I'm taking my detail brush because what I want to do is add this pink to the nostrils, but we're not covering. We're going to come back later and make them much darker. I just wanted to paint those nostrils with this pink, and then we're going to go in with a dark brown and fill those in a little bit later. Okay, for my next color, I'm going to, I hope you have some of that pink left, because I'm going to make that pink a little bit lighter. I'm going to add some white to the pink that we just made. Okay. A little bit more white. Okay, and now I'm going to add a few more, or a few highlights to the pig in some areas. So I will show you with my medium brush. Like this white section here that we left. I want to put some of this white on the forehead. Just layering that over the colors that we just put on. I also want to put some of this highlight on the side of the pig right there. And on its back, where the sun is hitting. I'm going to put some down here, just dabbing paint. I'm not covering, like, I'm not trying to cover, I'm just basically trying to layer. And I just put like little dab there in between the lines that we did, and then leaving some of that paint to shine through. I want to put some right here. Oh, I definitely want to put some on the nose, right here on the top and on the bottom. As well as, I'm going to actually extend this ear down a bit because I noticed that I made a lot thicker ear on this side than here. So to fix that, I'm just going to extend that part of the ear down with this color. Even if you're getting over into the blue or your background color, that's okay. Just trying to make a little bit more even. And then I definitely want some on the snout right there. Okay. Do I want some? Yep. I want some up here. I want some over there. All right. Moving on. All right, so I have my detail brush in my hand because I'm just going to go in with raw umber, straight raw umber, not adding any colors to it. And I'm going to start outlining around the nostrils. I say outlining, I don't really mean outlining. What I'm trying to say is that I'm just blocking off a part of the nostril like that. I want to kind of, the shadows kind of going into the nostrils, so I don't want to kind of make this one large circle. I just kind of want to do one section of it. If I can make myself clear, I'm just doing the corners, the upper corners. Not painting over that pink that we did. Just to give it that depth. Okay, so that's that, and now I'm just going to move on and paint in the eyes. I'm going to go over that brown so that I'm making that, I'm just going over it so I have like the eyelashes and then I have the eye. Basically a Pac-Man that we made before but filled in. Okay, so we did a Pac-Man, and I'll do that again. And then I just filled it in to make that eye. And I might go back later and make some eyelashes, but yeah, why not now? Just a little bit of eyelashes while I'm here. Okay, and then the other thing I'm going to do is I want to make more of a darkness in the ears. So I'm taking raw umber and I'm taking a lot of raw sienna. Okay, so I'm mixing a lot of raw sienna with my raw umber, with my detail brush, and I don't need very much at all. I'm just going to paint inside the ear. Just to give it that shadow. Making more of a line than painting it. Same with the other side. Just kind of dabbing random bits of dark brown. Because this isn't perfect. This is an abstract Piggy. Okay, and then I also want to put some of that brown right around this part of the pig. I'm noticing that it's really hard to do it with such a skinny brush, so I'm going to grab my medium brush and I'm going to put some of that color also right back here. Not very much, just a little bit of shadow. Okay? Okay guys, I'm actually going to take that color again. Again, this is raw sienna and raw umber if you need to make some more, which I do as well. And I'm going to put some of this right on the top of the head. I want to give that dirty look. This Piggy's been rolling around and stuff, including ice cream, which we'll get to in a bit. And so I really want to give it that disheveled look. Okay, so I put some on the top of the head. I also put some on the back. I'm going to put some right along this eye right here. I'm going to put some a little bit on the other eye as well. And then a little bit by its foot. Not to mention this little section by the nose. I always forget about this side. Okay, so where I put that was I put it in the ears. I put it on both ears, on the head, on the back, on the side where the sun's not really hitting, on the side of the body, and then right down by the foot and the mouth. Okay. All right, now we're going to move on to this foot and then the ice cream. All right, for our colors for the foot, the little hoof, it's going to be similar to this pinkish color, except it's going to be a little more brown. So I'm taking a little bit of raw sienna. Let me get my palette knife. A little bit of raw sienna. I hope you guys can see this. Raw sienna. I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to get my pink. Mix that together. Let's test it. I may need to add some. Yep, I'm going to add a little bit of raw umber. Okay, so a little bit of pink, a little bit of raw sienna, a little bit of raw umber. And with my medium brush, I'm going to test the color. I think it's good. Yep, that's where I want it. And I'm going to paint that little hoof in. And I really want to go back later to outline that. I really want to outline that so you can kind of see that little line. Now, can I use this color anywhere else? I don't think so. All right, so now we're going to move on to the ice cream. For this step, I don't normally take a color straight from the bottle, but because I really like this color for the cone and the darkness of it, I'm just going to take straight raw sienna. So literally the straight raw sienna from the tube. I'm going to paint the whole cone in. And this comb extends around this canvas, so don't forget about that. Okay, paint that in. Beautiful. All right, now moving on, we're gonna wash out our medium brush. We're gonna let that dry because we wanna do the highlights on top of it. But we can't do that when it's wet. So, oh, this is gonna be fun. I'm gonna make, I personally, my favorite ice cream in the whole wide world is vanilla. And so you guys can make chocolate, which is just add some raw umber and white. You can add, for all I care, mint. Oh, wouldn't that be cool? Man, that would be so much fun. I changed my mind. I want to get some mint color and put mint chocolate chip ice cream over that instead of vanilla, just to give it more color. I convinced myself and I found some Viridian. I'm going to put some Viridian, and like I said, you don't have to use this, but I'm going to make some mint ice cream. Even though that's my least favorite ice cream, I just think it'll look so cute. Vanilla is my all-time favorite. I'm going to get my palette knife. I'm going to add some white to this because it's a little on the dark side. Okay, just added some Viridian with a dab of white. And now, with my detail brush, I'm going to paint this ice cream in. Oh, I'm so excited. My husband's favorite ice cream is mint chocolate chip ice cream. Definitely his favorite. I'm going to paint this in, but making sure it kind of looks like it's dripping down. Like right now, I'm going to have some dripping down his snout on the side. I'm covering up the brown. And I'm going to do some on top of his face where we left that white. We're going to paint that whole thing in. And the top part. I want to give it texture. I kind of like that this is thick paint right now. I'm liking that. I'm going to make that bit more rounded on the top. Okay, so now that it's there, I'm going to find some places where I can put it. I just want to round that a bit better. So, where should we put it? I'm going to put some on his face because he's really going to town with his ice cream. He loves this ice cream. Yeah, I'm just going to load it up. He's going to have it splattered all over. I want some here. And then we also want to fill in that side that's kind of dripping down on the ground. I'm going to have that kind of dripping down by his nose. okay. Where do we, let's get some on his ear. Oh yeah, he's gonna have some on his ear. This guy is covered. I'm gonna have some climbing up his ear. So cute. I'm gonna go put some dots right there. Let's make some on the snout, almost dripping into his nostril. Yeah, I'm gonna put some almost like going into his nose. So cute, it's fun. See, being creative is fun. You just make it silly. Who cares what people think? You can just do whatever you want, however you want. I'm kind of thinking I want a little drop. Okay, so let's try this. I want it to be dripping from his ear. Ah, oh, so cool. Okay, I'm making this little droplet so it's rounded at the bottom. And like sticky from at his ear. So there's some on there. All right, I'm getting a little carried away. Where else can I put this? I think I'll finish up. I kind of want to make this a little thicker. Just a little thicker down there. All right, lastly, I'm going to just do little dots that are just being sprayed. Oh, yeah, on his cheek. Yep, so I think that's what I'll do. Maybe a little one right here. Right there. Okay, so there we go. We have some splattered ice cream. He's just going to town. Now, is this dry? Yes, so this is dry. So now we can wash out our detail brush and we can make our next color. Yes, I couldn't resist. I put some on his ear. I just thought he needed a little bit more ice cream smothered all over his body. Okay, so next I'm going to take my palette knife and mix together the lighter tone color that we're going to put to make that like waffled look on the cone. So raw umber with a little bit of white. And we're not going to use our detail brush for this because we want to create a really straight line, and I'll show you the technique that I use with my medium brush. So there's the color I want. I'm pretty happy with that. I could even go a little bit lighter, and I will. I added some more white. Okay. So with our medium brush, make sure that's nice and clean. Now, when I use the side of my medium brush, it creates this really straight flat line, and I use this a lot for fur, for doing detail work that requires a really straight line. Okay, so I'm just going to take a little bit of that, not much. And to do this waffle look, I'm just going to start going in this direction, and then I'm going to go do that direction. So what that looks like, if you want to watch me before you do it, I'm just going to create these lines across the cone, equally separated, so I'm going to try my best to put the same distance between lines in between lines. And I want to give it that like curved look because the cone is curved. And then once I've done that, I'm going to start with this side so it's a little bit easier on me. Otherwise, I'm just going to work from the smallest end up. Okay, and I'm just going to climb up that cone to give it that waffle look that I really want. And voila! Look at that. Oh, it's stuck. I'm taking this off because I really want to extend that to the side. Okay, so there's my ice cream can. The last things we have to do are a few details to the eyes. I want to do the outline on the hoof and then sprinkles. And then there's one other line that I'm seeing right here. There we go. All right, so cleaning out my detail brush, I want to go for this tiny detail here. So I'm going to take straight raw umber, using my medium brush because I want to create a straight line. I'm going to create that line in between the foot, and I'm going to go underline it from underneath, and then same with the other side, just underneath. I want to separate it just slightly, with another line up top here. Okay, so all I did was just raw umber, and I just made some, it was hard to see what that was, so that kind of gives it a little bit more definition. All right, so next we're going to work on our sprinkles, and our sprinkles are going to be any color you want. I want a variety of sprinkles. I have some blues, I have some reds, I'm going to add some purple. So guys, this is your opportunity to choose whatever color you want, but any color you choose, we're just going to add white. Okay, just because that helps for keeping the color pretty pigmented. I'm just going to add a little bit of white, plus it's getting highlight from the ice cream, highlight from the sun. So yeah, I'm literally not going to tell you what colors to use. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to start with purple sprinkles. I'm going to go ahead with some red sprinkles. So right now I'm mixing up my white with my purple, and there's really no, you can't really go wrong here. You're just adding a little bit of white to purple. I'm taking my detail brush. Is this wet? It's actually sort of tacky. Not that wet. Okay. With my detail brush, I'm just going to create these like 1/2 inch little lines. So cute. And I'm going to put them randomly spread out. Some are going to be close together. But I'm going to put them all over. Some are going to be up straight, some are going to be, they're just going to be pointing in all directions. And guys, you don't have to do lines, you can do circles. Sprinkles, I've seen a variety of different shapes and sizes for sprinkles. Personally, I don't like the taste of sprinkles. I have tried so many times, but I just do not like them. I'd be interested to know how people eat your ice cream. That is a question. How do you guys like your ice cream? Do you like pure chocolate with chocolate sprinkles? Do you prefer just plain vanilla like me with nothing else? I know, right? Boring, but it's my favorite. Do you like mint chocolate chip with bananas? Like, seriously, I want to know. So in the comment section below, I'd like to know how you like your ice cream. I'm going to put some sprinkles even up here. And I'm gonna probably make up another color. I've used a lot of purple. I'm almost done with the purples. Okay, so now I'm going to probably, what should my next color be? I'm going to go in with white, straight white sprinkles. Yes. This is a little harder because white is pretty darn thick. And it's up to you how many sprinkles you want to add. I really kind of want it pretty concentrated with sprinkles, but I really want it random. I don't want them just like evenly spaced out. I want them like clumped together. I don't know about you, but this is just too cute. This makes me so happy. This little piggy. I can see my dog doing this. My dogs, Rosie and Zeus. I can see them totally getting into ice cream like this, where it's just all over their face. I love seeing animal photos like that. I do this a lot where I hold my arm so that I can really get a straight line. It helps me just to steady my hand. If that helps you, by all means, go for it. The last sprinkle color I'm going to do is yellow. And so I'm just adding a little bit of white. Using my detail brush, I'm going to go in with my yellow sprinkles. The last details that we need to do are just add some highlights to the eyes. So I'm taking my damp detail brush and I'm dipping it in straight white. And I'm going to add my highlight right on the eye. And I want to add two highlights to the eye on that side and then on the lower side. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that that's lower. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get my black, cover that up. And while I'm at it, I'm going to use that black to just paint in the eyes. I'm not painting over this white part, this white highlight. I'm just so I can make it even on both sides. Well, so now I have to let that dry. Let's see if I can add it. I'm just going to add a little white highlight right there. Okay, so that worked. So 2 little white dots on the left eye, on my right eye, and then on the left eye I just added another little dot, using black to fill in the eyes. And the other thing I want to do to finish off this painting is I'm just taking my medium brush, damp medium brush, and I'm using a watered down raw sienna. So I'm just taking straight raw sienna, but I'm making it really watered down. And I'm just going to do these little lines by the nose, because I know how the nose of a crease, that's what I'm trying to say. There's creases in a pig's nose. So that's it, guys. That is the last step for our painting. I'm going to probably go around and do some final touch-ups, like I see that there's some brown that I want to go over with some of my sky blue. And if you see any touch-ups that you want to do, take this time to do that. Thank you all for watching, guys. I hope that was relaxing and enjoyable. And if you have any questions on this painting or any of my painting tutorials, just make sure you leave that in the comment section below. And I look forward to seeing you in the next painting tutorial with some more updates. Okay, guys, bye.